We're back here on a Wednesday. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
This is just what we do. This is what we bring.
Holidays. Did you hear the big news?
What?
StreamYard, the company that previously provided your service, has been merged into its parent entity, Bending Spoons. That's big.
Really? No, I did not know that. Yeah, it's the platform we use, is StreamYard. So yeah, thanks for letting me know on that one there. I wonder if the bill's going to change.
Yeah,
it's big. I thought you were going to say about the Village Vandalia. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh my God! Yeah,
yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's what I thought you were going to.
That's actually like must see TV right now.
It is. This is what I'll say on it. It is the craziest thing because it's like the smallest place you can think of.
Yeah, dude. It was smaller than I thought, and I was like, "It's small, dude." When they said there was like 300 people that live in Vandalia, I was like, "Dude, is that true?"
Yeah. No, I mean you hear about towns with like one stoplight.
Yeah.
And that's a town with no stoplight.
It has no stoplight. That's true. So take the small towns with one stoplight -1. That's what we got over there in Vandalia.
Yeah. So it is crazy though. That's all that's going on there. It's nuts. Hopefully it gets resolved.
ABC 57 will be coming out with another thing too.
Yeah, they love to find the story. I'll say that.
Dude, they are finding the story, man.
Yeah, they will. They will find it anywhere. So that's what I thought you were going to talk about. I thought you were going to be like, oh, what's going on? That's the big news. But
I mean, I thought Bending Spoons eating up StreamYard was pretty big deal. But
that's about as big as like Netflix buying Warner Brothers.
That's the equivalent.
About as big. Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be another person try to come in and buy it out from underneath the other one.
Dude, it's like in my mind, Paramount has the least functioning. So it's a running joke between me and my brother. That whenever we watch Peacock and it'll start buffering or something, we call it Poopcock.
Poopcock, nice.
Yes, and then with Paramount, instead when it starts buffering, which it does a lot. That's why it's kind of funny that they're able to sling all this money around because that app doesn't work very well.
And they're about to have live sporting events with
V.O.C. I know, yeah. We call it paraplegic.
Yeah, it is interesting how these I don't know, because it's like as far as I remember, like Netflix still has yet to turn a profit on anything.
Yeah,
they still buy stuff.
Yeah,
which billions of dollars, which is crazy. But,
dude, well, the new I'm not like a huge Stranger Things person, but I did see that I think just their special effects budget was $600 million.
That's just for a TV show.
And that's just for a TV show, and that's just I don't even think that was like the show. I think that was just special effects. That's pretty crazy because you hear about Avatar makes it costs a lot of money obviously, but it'll make like $1 billion. Dude, that show cost $1 billion to make.
Yeah, and it just depends on subscriptions, and it's like it's not like you're getting paid every time you watch it. It's just based off people just have subscriptions. So
yeah,
I've never been a Stranger Things guy, so I couldn't tell you much
I
about
like,
it.
dude. The problem with Stranger Things is that when season one dropped, me and you were like 16 years old.
Yeah,
I
now I'm 26.
watched. Yeah, exactly. I watched all of the first season in one night, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. Then like 3 years later, season two comes out, and they keep doing this. And it's like I don't care because I don't. I'm a different person than I was
Yeah,
the last time there was a season. You guys
it's
take
like
way too long.
it's like Euphoria is gonna be that way.
Yeah, dude. I hate that show because
Euphoria?
yeah. Do you watch
Uh,
that?
I've never. Maybe like
Oh,
bits and pieces.
so me and my friends would watch it, and nothing ever good happens in that show. It's always the worst possible situation. It's just if you want anxiety, it's just mainlined into your bloodstream for an hour, and then the episode ends.
Well, I remember when I was in college, it was the first season it came out,
Mm.
and people would like they'd be like, "I have to watch this every Sunday. This is like
I
the show to watch." And I'm just
yeah
like,
I
I'm like, you know what's on Sunday?
yeah.
It's not that, something else.
Yeah, something. Oh, there's. It's not. It can't be good for you, dude. I'm telling you, nothing ever good happens in that show. I don't know why I even watched. I think I watched one season, and just nothing good ever happened.
Yeah, probably. I will say the one thing about Stranger Things that I did hear about is how like everybody's older now, and so they're still
Yeah,
playing teenagers,
yeah,
and then they all have like terrible wigs on.
yeah, and yes, and also like when you hire child actors, there's a bit of a leeway in their acting
Yeah,
ability. Like people can look past maybe a child actor who isn't the best actor, but when you now like the Harry Potter thing kind of ran into it,
yeah,
which they got kind of lucky because like Daniel Radcliffe and those guys ended up being pretty good
yeah.
actors.
They're good actors. Yeah,
Some of these Stranger Things people are not that good at acting, and the Stranger Things people kind of screw themselves. It's a gamble, though. You don't know who's
yeah.
going to be good at acting
No,
in 10
well,
years.
that's why you finished it in 3 years.
Right?
You didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because when a kid's bad at acting, no one's like, dude, this kid sucks at acting.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Besides
Kid
the
is.
kid who played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace, everyone told that kid he sucked to his face, and he was like 7.
Well, I mean, not everybody's like Haley Steinfeld or whatever when she
Yeah,
was in the
yeah.
movie with
True
Jeff
grit.
Bridges. Yeah, where she
Yeah,
was like
True
8
grit.
years old and was just like
And she was
dominant.
good, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, dude, that is crazy. Imagine you're like a little girl, and then you're in a Western movie
Yeah.
with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon, dude.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's just like now you got to try and figure out your life, and she has, of course. She's
Yeah, she's actually
mhm.
done so good, dude. Think about that. She's a great singer.
Yeah,
She's a great actor, and she's married to Josh Allen.
and she's having Josh Allen's baby.
And she's having Josh Allen's baby, who will probably just give her more millions of dollars for the rest
Yeah,
of her life.
for the rest of her life. I mean,
If I was a chick, I would probably want to marry Josh Allen.
it's a one-way ticket to success.
And he's like, tall. He's a good-looking guy. He's funny. He's very. That's the one thing I appreciate.
He's
About
normal.
Josh
He's
Allen,
normal.
is that he's a normal guy.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes, like they try to like Russell Wilson. We love the guy,
Yeah.
but he tried to come off as like funny, and it just didn't work because I don't really think that's his personality.
Oh, it's fake. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah. But Josh Allen, dude, the Room 40, when he hit the Barstool Boys with the Room 40's nuts
Yeah.
joke, I was like, or he said he didn't drink for 12 years, and then they're like, oh dang, he's like, but then I turned 13.
Yeah. No, he's a funny dude, and
Yeah,
he's just like he gets it. He understands. He fits Buffalo.
and he balls, dude, and he balls.
All right, let's. Creepy photo says MF never able to win a Super Bowl with that going on. Well, he may this year. He may win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I'm excited when we get to the coaches. I'll have more to say about that.
Yeah, so basically, there's a lot going on. You have the transfer portal, which, as you can tell from the thumbnail here, is just all over the place. Supposedly, the market for a quarterback right now is $5 million at the top end, which is nuts.
Yeah.
A lot. I think there's over like 4,500 players in the portal.
Yeah, I saw something that was like a third of all Division I football players were in the portal.
Yeah. I mean, and you have like there's guys like leaving Notre Dame, and I'm like, I never even heard of this guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's leaving, and I'm like, okay, never heard of him. And they're like, oh, he was a 4-star recruit. It's like,
Yeah.
how many 4-star recruits do we have out there?
Right. Yeah.
Clearly a lot. So we have a lot on that. There's one developing story with the Washington quarterback, which to me is very fascinating because that right there is like where this goes bad compared to good.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. We'll have our picks for the playoff games this week. Of course, that's still going on. But we will start in the NFL here. 7 coaches fired. So we're going to take you back a couple steps here to the first two guys that were fired. That was Brian Callahan with the Titans. He was there for 1.5 seasons. He went 4-19. Nobody knew who this guy was. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's canned. He's out. They kept their GM. I drove by Nashville, drove by their new stadium that they're building. Looks spectacular.
Oh, that's good. That's good news.
Looks really, really cool. It looks way better than the stadium they have now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's right next to it, but it's like I don't even know. It's like going from Vandalia to Mishawaka.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's an upgrade.
Okay.
It's
That's
amazing.
all. Well, dude, and that's like the thing, dude. These stadiums are just gonna get crazier and crazier.
And it looks different than all the other stadiums, I will say. Like it looks
Ooh.
pretty sweet. And so it's like a box. It's like a square. It's kind of the shape of it, and it's like very futuristic on the outside. And then the middle of it is just gonna be all glass.
Ooh. That's
So
cool,
it looks pretty. It looks
dude,
pretty sweet.
imagine going 2-15 in that thing, dude.
Yeah. You can be like, hey, at least we have this new stadium. At least our uniforms look cool.
What is our head coach? Who is he?
Yeah, nobody knows. So hopefully they're going to try and get somebody that people know. We'll move on now to the other guy that was fired, Brian Daboll. He was fired early with the Giants. 3.5 seasons. He went 20-40-1. He made the playoffs in his first year, and then just went downhill from there. They're keeping their GM, Joe Shane. Joe Shane, Elkhart native.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Elkhart. I will also say he botched Daniel Jones and he botched Saquon Barkley. So let's keep that guy around, I say. Now, that's the one thing I don't get is if you're going to fire your coach, fire your GM. Just clean house.
Yeah. I like Daboll. Daboll. Is that right?
Yeah, he's just very intense.
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a good coach. There's some of these teams, dude. It feels like they're perpetually like, even if the Titans maybe had like one good season, it just feels like they have one good season like every 10 years, and then they're just terrible forever.
Well, the Titans' problem is they had a really good coach in Mike Vrabel, and then they fired him. So
I guess that's not fair because they were pretty good under Mike Vrabel.
Yes. So a lot of this comes down to ownership.
Yeah.
And the same, 6 out of these 7 teams right here are the same teams that are always terrible. The next team here, Raheem Morris, the Falcons, he had 2 seasons, went 20-25. They also fired their GM, Terry Fontenot, which that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
To me, if you're going to fire one, fire them both. It looks like they're going to bring in Matt Ryan. They're basically making a position for Matt Ryan. Yeah. He has to interview for the position that was created for him, which I think is
Is your name Matt Ryan? Yes, you got the job.
Did you play for us quarterback? Yes. Do you think you know anything about football? Yes. I would caution the Falcons, though, when you have these guys that you think they know a lot about football. There's no doubt about that. They played the position, really good at it. Doesn't always mean they're going to be good at picking talent and figuring out how to run an organization. Very tough. John Elway was good, and then it kind of crumbled there at the end. Tom Brady's going into the struggles with the Raiders. Not everybody's John Lynch with the 49ers, but you can just kind of keep it together very often. So it doesn't always mean that they're going to be good. So we'll see how that goes.
I think one interesting thing, too, I saw a thing where maybe we talked about on the podcast, the Jets and the Texans thing.
What about it?
There was the game where they played each other. I think it was Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and the Jets won the game. If they would have lost,
they would have had the number 1 pick.
Yeah, and then the Falcons would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's how close to Raheem Morris was to not being fired.
It is wild. And now we move on to John Harbaugh there in the middle, getting fired with the mutually parting ways. He was fired. I hate that. That is the thing to me that I hate the most is, we mutually part. No, you fired him.
Yeah.
You got rid of him. You fired him. He was 18 seasons there, 180-113, a regular season, 13-11 in the postseason, Super Bowl 47 champion, one of the best coaches in the league. I think for John, it was just that point where, look, you've been there 18 years. It's time to move on. Just probably best for both sides. And supposedly Adam Schefter said he talked to his agent yesterday, and within 45 minutes of him being fired, 7 teams have called him. Mind you, there's 7 teams, including the Ravens. So the Ravens didn't call him. So there are teams out there that maybe are going to consider firing their coach, or teams that are in the playoffs, potentially, firing their coach to get John Harbaugh. Like I said, it's just one of those things where it just kind of runs its course, and
I think
probably just time to
too.
move on.
I think too. This was like almost the Ravens' year to do it because you got to think they had a similar problem with the Bills that they had the Chiefs problem
Yeah,
where you run into the Chiefs in the playoff and you end up losing that game, or they run into each other and the Bills could win that game or whatever. But this was kind of the year where it was like we got to do this, and I mean you have Lamar Jackson. And I know he missed a little bit, but you have Lamar Jackson and like he's kind of in the prime of his career, and it's almost like we're wasting him
yeah,
because we're missing the playoffs. I think it is. I mean, something had to give here. I saw something earlier that he was like 0-5 or 0-6 this season when it was like a 5 point game. Always lost that game, and he had a really bad record to win up by a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
hmm.
So it's just time for a change, and obviously the change is going to come in your quarterback.
Yeah.
I think this was a good time to move on, but I'm sure he'll get another job. He is a great coach. It's just time for a change. Some new blood in there can maybe reinvigorate some things.
Yeah, I mean, look, someone's gonna hire him. He's gonna have a pick of whatever job he wants. There's no doubt
Mhm.
about that. And for the Ravens, it's you got to find a coach that is going to be able to win now with what you have. I think that's
Yep.
going to be the biggest thing. It's not like when John Harbaugh was kind of brought up, where it's like, okay, we can kind of rebuild, and then we'll build it into something. No, it's like you have Lamar Jackson, you have uh, Derrick Henry most likely for another couple of seasons. You have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, that offensive line. You're an older
Yeah.
team defensively. You have Kyle Hamilton. You need some pieces on defense. You figure that out. So I mean, look, the Ravens to me are very much like the Steelers, where they're
Mhm.
kind of just going to find a young guy and kind of give him a chance to run and be there for a long time. So that's what's going to be interesting.
I think too. We always kind of talk about the Lions, where it almost feel like they kind of missed their window, and then
Yeah.
like that's kind of the same urgency too with the Ravens. This isn't a team that is in a rebuilding process. This is a team that's supposed to be winning, a championship. And obviously, dude, they're like one field goal away from making the
Yeah.
playoffs
Well,
and him
some
probably
people,
not being fired.
so there's some people that said it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, I
He
okay. So
probably
you
would have
think they
been
would have
gone
made the
regardless.
playoffs, and he would have, and if when they would have lost or whatever,
I think
he would
so.
have. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it was one of those where they were just probably time to move on, do what you got to do. So I don't know. Moving on to probably the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL, the Browns firing Kevin Stefanski. 6 seasons, went 45-56. Two-time Coach of the Year in 2020 and 2023. He's 1-2 in the postseason. So made the playoffs twice. They're keeping their GM. It kind of feels like I think his name's Joel Berry. It kind of feels like Kevin Stefanski's unwillingness to kind of be accepting to the quarterback situation in Cleveland's probably what's gotten him fired. But the funny thing is, he's going to get one of these jobs.
Yeah.
Someone's going to hire him.
Dude, I mean, the things he was able to do, like, think about every coach before him in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Like, these are teams that were won
terrible.
a game,
Yeah,
I mean, there was a few seasons where they're dang near sniffing the playoffs. So that franchise, I mean, is probably one of the most cursed franchises in American sports. I
starts
would
at the
say.
top. Starts at the
Yeah,
top. It's all
yeah,
about ownership.
yeah,
Their ownership is dysfunctional. It's not good. It's not his fault. He's not the guy that traded for Deshaun Watson.
right.
And gave up all his picks, and then didn't have a quarterback this season when Deshaun Watson got hurt. He had Joe Flacco. He took Joe Flacco to the playoffs in 2023
Yeah,
as his quarterback. Then you give him two rookies who, just the dysfunction there and everything around that. So I don't know if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm like, thank God I got
yeah,
fired. I can go to a team, he's going to get a job somewhere. I would probably think it's going to be Raiders, Giants, Titans probably is probably going to be where just a quarterback thing. It's like, the Giants, I think he's probably not high on the list, but he's probably up there. Titans, he's probably up there just based off like, hey, quarterback, Cam Ward, you can work with him. Raiders have the number one overall pick, quarterback wise. So it's just been one of those dysfunction. And it continues because you keep your GM. I don't understand that. And your refusal to trade Myles Garrett to get anything in return.
mhm,
So, they did have a good rookie class, but they still have no quarterback. Uh, Now we have the Cardinals. Not really surprised. This is probably another one that nobody knew who this guy was. Jonathan Gannon, 3 seasons, 15-36. Defensive mind guy. Just kind of felt like he lost it this season. He had he's like punch a guy or grab a player or something like
Oh,
that.
yep. Yeah.
Got into it with a player. The Cardinals, look, their biggest thing is quarterback Kyler Murray basically like just stopped playing. So they'll have to figure that out. And then the last one being here, Pete Carroll after 1 season in Las Vegas, 3-14 record, out. Yeah, the number 1 pick. I have this stat here. So CBS Sports has this. Franchises with the most coaches in the last 30 seasons.
Ooh.
Do you have any guess who's number 1?
I want to say Cleveland, but is it the Raiders?
The Raiders have had 15 coaches the last 30 years.
What is there? Is it a list?
Oh yeah, there's 4 of them. There's 4.
Okay, so where's Cleveland on there?
Cleveland is tied for second.
Tied for second. So that means that there's someone.
Yes,
Is
there's
the
two
team
other.
that
There's
is
two
the
other
team that
franchises.
is tied with them on? Would we see their old coach right here?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. NFC or AFC?
One of each. So there's the Raiders number 1, and then there's 3 teams tied for second.
Oh.
And the Browns being one of those teams.
Okay, let me guess this.
One has kind of turned it around the last couple of years.
Was it Detroit?
Yes.
Okay, and then AFC team.
Your creepy photo said Giants, not the Giants,
It's
not the Colts.
AFC, right?
It's an AFC team.
Who the last 30 years?
Yep.
Oh man.
This team at one time was viewed as a very good franchise and historically as one of the greatest coaches in all of sports.
Oh man, I'm gonna feel like an idiot if I don't get this. But it's not. Is it? It's not the Patriots, is it?
It's not
It can't
the
be.
Bears.
No,
It's not the Patriots. No, I'm probably before. This was before we were born. This franchise was viewed as one of the best, if not the best, having one of the best coaches in all of sports.
Is it the
Not
Jets?
Chiefs. No, not the Jets.
Oh
They're
my
known
God.
for
Dolphins?
perfection. Yes, the Dolphins.
Yeah. Okay.
The Dolphins. So the Raiders have had 15 coaches in the last 30 years, interims and everything. So 15 head coaches. And then the Lions, Browns, and Dolphins all have 12.
Oh my gosh, dude, 15 is a lot in 30 years.
30 years. And the other thing with the Raiders is the Raiders are like supposedly paying all the coaches that they've fired over the last couple of years, being John Gruden, Mike McDaniel,
Yep,
Chip Kelly, who they gave $6 million a year to, and then was just told to walk out the door. Now Pete Carroll, they're paying like ex-coaches like $50 or $60 million.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, this is the second time Geno Smith has gotten Pete Carroll fired. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe Pete Carroll needs to stay far away from Geno Smith. But he's a good coach. He was a good coach at USC. He was a good coach in Seattle. I know he's getting up there, but he feels like a guy who's still got it a little bit. So I doubt. You think he's done?
I think he's done.
At least in the NFL.
I would go back to college if I was Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
To be honest, because you could
interesting.
you can do all the things legally that he got in trouble for back in the day. So it's one of those things. Pete definitely had some choice words for Geno, I'm sure. And does Gruden count as 2? I don't know. I think Gruden counts as 2 separate ones.
Probably, right?
Yeah, so 15 head coaches. So Nolan brought up this is a team, right? And I've had choice words about this guy. I think this guy should have been fired. He's an idiot. Add the Bungles to that list, Trev. Some teams are doomed: Jets, Lions, Bungles, Browns, Giants, Titans.
I can't believe that.
Starts at the top. Zach Taylor still has a job. And that's probably to appease Joe Burrow. Or they probably looked at it and said, Joe Burrow was hurt. We'll give you another year, blah, 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 blah. Zach Taylor's the worst coach in the NFL. I get that he made it to a Super Bowl. He's terrible.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's just awful. He is not a good coach, in my opinion. And he fails upwards.
He falls forward.
So this is his resume as a coach. 2-14, 4-11-1, 10-7, 12-4. When they went 10-7 is when they went to the Super Bowl. So in his third year, and then 12-4. They lost in the AFC Championship to the Chiefs 2022. Since then, 9-8, 9-8, 6-11.
Mm.
He is 52, 63-1.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like he did those. I mean, he has such good pieces that it's almost hard to not win. Obviously, when Joe Burrow gets hurt, but the problem is that he's not doing anything. Like he
No.
is the team, and this team struggles so much. The Bengals struggle so much with like keeping Hendrickson and wasting that money, in my opinion. Because what did he do this year? I have actually
Nothing.
haven't.
He ended up getting hurt.
Oh my god! Dude.
What I will say about the Bengals is they don't fire coaches. So they had Marvin Lewis from 2003 to 2018.
And I mean,
He had a record of 131 and a 122-3. So just
would
over 500.
would Carson that's in the Carson Palmer time?
Yes. So he went 8-8, 8-8, 11-5, 8-8, 7-9, 4-11-1, 10-6, 4-12, 9-7, 10-7, 11-5, 10-5, 12-4, and then his last 3 years he went 6-9-1, 7-9, and 6-10. And then they finally ended up firing
Yeah.
because they're cheap. They refuse to fire guys, so they keep terrible coaches.
Yeah, dude, I feel for like Joe Burrow because that is just a terrible situation. But that's what happens when you have the draft the way it is that the best players get picked up by the worst teams.
Yeah.
Where in the NBA, it's not necessarily that all the time because it might not be the worst team that the
Well,
best.
the other thing too is and this is sometimes where I look at players and I go, if you want to win so much, why keep resigning contracts to be there?
Yeah.
And I get franchises can franchise tag you or whatever, but if you really wanted to leave, then you have all the power. Just I want out. I'm not going to sign a contract. I'm going to leave. Whatever. Uh, you know, but he's stuck. He's like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. He knows he controls the franchise. So he says, I want Jamar Chase paid. I want T. Higgins paid. I want Mike Gesicki paid. Let's do that, So, and then he got hurt. So, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that. But I don't know. To me, I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals would be much better off if you go and find somebody else, bring in somebody new. I don't know who that'd be. Maybe like a Kevin Stefanski type would be pretty good there.
Yeah.
An offensive mind guy, get it, guy that has experience. But just to keep Zach Taylor around to me is a joke, but it is what it is. What do I know?
Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of funny. Like John Harbaugh is fired right now, but Zach Taylor
still has a job. Yeah, it's like makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So as of right now, we have 7 openings. There could be more based off of the playoffs potentially. You look at guys like Sean McDermott. If they don't win this week in Jacksonville, do they move on from him and say, hey, we're going to go with John Harbaugh maybe or somebody else? Yeah. Matt LaFleur, there's talks. I don't think the Packers would do that.
No.
And then your guy there in Philly.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you bring John Harbaugh back to the Eagles? Where he was before.
Cool. What I think, what I would do first is I would fire Kevin Spatula first, and then find a new guy to call plays. Maybe Kevin Stefanski wants to be an offensive coordinator, and him, Big Fangio, dude, as our coordinators would be
good coordinators.
Awesome. And then I think we see what it looks like next year. Because I will give Nick Sirianni a bit of a break here with our offensive play calling this year has been terrible.
Yes. But I will say though, it's terrible, but he's supposed to be an offensive guy.
Yeah, and he never had the cojones to be like, I'm gonna call the plays. Like Dan Campbell did, that didn't really work.
Yeah.
So I'm a little interested in that, dude. I don't know. I say that he should be good this season, but after next, I would say he's in a little bit of a hot seat. I mean, who knows? We could maybe do really well in the playoffs or whatever, but I doubt it. I don't think so. Our offense struggles too much. Our defense is amazing, and we have so many pieces on defense. It just breaks my heart that these guys they're like Cooper DeJean, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. Like, dude, everyone on the defense is phenomenal. And then it's like this season's kind of a wash for them because our offense is freaking clueless.
Yeah. Well, Cooper G's winning on and off the field now.
I didn't. Is he got a girlfriend or
He's
something
dating
now?
Nikki Bella.
I didn't know that, dude. Is
She's
she
like
not like
20,
100 years older
she's
than
20
him?
years older than him.
Ew, dude. Did she? Is she the one that dated John Cena?
Yeah.
What in the world, bro?
Yeah.
No,
There was like a rumor. Now I guess it's like official.
bro. Coop, what are we doing here, bro?
He's living his best life. What are you gonna do?
No, bro. You got, dude. He's got to do something else, man.
I
No,
saw a meme that was like he's now dating somebody he used to fantasize about as a kid.
Yeah, no, that's true. He did see the vision through. He's just a small dude from Iowa that's like, I'm gonna date her one day.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
he is.
here he is. Look
Dude,
at
he's
him.
picking up John Cena's old lady.
Hey, what are you gonna do? I mean, hey, I guess she's an Eagles fan, so she really is now.
Nice.
Now looking at the guys who are candidates now. So Hughes, John Harbaugh is very high up there. Kevin Stefanski, Robert Sala's name's being thrown around. He's done a really good job with the 49ers again, but he did fail with the Jets. Mike McCarthy's name is brought back around. If you look at Mike McCarthy's resume, it's very similar to like a John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, where he's done pretty good with the one Super Bowl, of course. Cliff Kingsbury got fired from the Commanders, so it'd be interesting if a team maybe takes a shot on him.
Did he get fired, or did he just say, I don't want to? I want to go try?
I think it was a mutually parting of ways.
Yeah. That's what I thought I heard.
Which is basically he got fired.
Right.
So yeah, the candidates out there, it's nothing too crazy.
I heard Jason Garrett's name being thrown.
Jason Garrett, I think, is going to get an interview maybe with the Titans. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, I would probably look at the Ravens potentially for that. Brian Flores' name is potentially out there. There was a rumor, I don't know how true it was, that the Raiders would maybe look at Brian Flores for head coach and Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator to bring the Patriot guys back together.
Yeah. I also, before all of this, I think I brought it up last podcast, but this was before like coaches were really getting fired and stuff. But Matt Nagy,
Matt Nagy's on there. Steve Spagnuolo is on there. I look for.
I like Spag. Spag is a great defensive coach.
Great defense. He's not a head coach. He's had two stints as a head coach. He was terrible.
Yeah,
get him out. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's probably one of the guys you can argue as an assistant to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree. He's done a lot of great things for Kansas City.
Yeah, and with the Giants before that, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. There's 2 names that I think would be interesting. The one is like far-fetched, and it would just be interesting. It would probably be more on his end than NFL teams. But Brian Kelly.
Ooh.
Maybe is he done with college, and maybe does he still want to coach? Maybe an NFL team comes calling. There was rumors years ago that he's going to go to the Eagles.
Oh, thank you.
And there's been interest in the NFL before, so that would be an interesting name. Just he's like a CEO type. Maybe bring him in. That's just no one said anything like that. I just thought about today as I drove by his house.
I can just envision him in a Titans uniform right now, or like a Titans get up.
Yeah. So I just envisioned it as I drove by his house. It was like maybe Brian Kelly, NFL coach. And then the other one, who he's a really good defensive coordinator, was the Boston College head coach, and then took over as the Packers defense coordinator, Jeff Hafley. He's been a head coach before in college. Now he's been with the Packers. I want to say 3 to 4 years as defensive coordinator. He's been a very good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Before they had Micah Parsons last year, losing him this year. So I think, he's a name out there. There's a lot of defensive guys, not as many offensive mind guys as you normally see. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. To me, if you're like the Ravens, you have to know who you want based off of you got rid of John Harbaugh. So
yeah,
time will tell. There's still going to, the longer some of these jobs stay open, the more that assistants from playoff teams are going to take over this job. So it'll be very, very interesting. But if you look at the teams that have openings as of right now, the Titans do have a quarterback in place.
Yeah.
The Giants have a quarterback in place. Falcons don't know with Penix. Ravens do. Browns don't. Cardinals don't. And Raiders don't. So it'll be very interesting, but Raiders have the number 1 pick. So.
Yeah, so I would just assume that Mendoza is going to be your quarterback.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But a lot of movement so far, and who knows, somebody could fire their coach to get John Harbaugh. So that'll be interesting too.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the NFL playoffs. They start this week. It starts with Broncos and Seahawks both at bye weeks, being the number one seeds. And then Saturday we start today with the Rams as a 10.5 point favorite at the Panthers, 4:30 on Fox. Mind you, they played this game like a month and a half ago, and the Panthers ended up beating them.
Mm.
So it'll be a little revenge game for the Rams. And then later on Saturday night, the game that I will be most intrigued for, Packers 1.5 point favorites at the Bears, 8 p.m. on Prime Video.
Oh man.
That's
Oh,
for all the
that
marbles.
sucks, dude. On Prime Video?
Yeah, that Al Michaels was surprised that they got that game.
That is terrible. That should be for everyone to watch.
Well, I will say, the last time the Bears were on Prime Video, it was pretty good. They played the Eagles, so
Yeah. Well, I mean,
hopefully Prime Video's our thing. But that game's for all the marbles. We're 1-1 on the season in the series, and I hate the Packers, and I'd like to win a playoff game.
yeah, that would be awesome. This is, dude. I mean, there are with the Chiefs kind of out.
Yeah.
And the Eagles kind of struggling. This feels wide open.
Yeah, it does. So here, let me read off the other games. So Sunday is Bills at Jags, 1 p.m. on CBS. Bills are 1.5 point favorites, surprisingly.
Yeah.
49ers at Eagles, minus 4.5 point favorite. The Eagles, that's 4:30 on Fox.
Oh, Jesus.
And then to cap off Sunday night is Chargers at Patriots. Patriots are 3.5 point favorite, 8 p.m. on NBC/your Peacock. And then Monday night is the Texans at the Steelers, 8:15 on ESPN/ABC, and the Texans are favorites in Pittsburgh.
Mm.
It is definitely a new era of NFL
Yeah.
football, I will
Yeah.
say. You would get this probably every 20 years, probably, where you kind of get this new blood of quarterbacks. I mean, look, the Broncos have Bo Nix, the Panthers have Bryce Young, the Bears with Caleb Williams, the Jags with Trevor Lawrence. You look at the Patriots with Drake May. I mean, this is kind of a new blooded guy. And then you still have your veterans. You have Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, of course. And then you kind of have guys that are kind of in the middle. You have Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love. So kind of a new crop of guys. And like you said, you don't have the Chiefs. We don't have the Bengals with Joe Burrow. But it's not that we don't have the Bengals. We don't have Joe Burrow.
Right. Yeah.
The Eagles have struggled. The Rams have struggled down the stretch.
Yeah.
So it's really one of those things where it's like, okay, you're going to get somebody new. The pressure's all on Josh Allen, without a doubt. And if you look at the Bills compared to the Jags recently, it's not even a comparison. The Jags have been better, but the expectation for the Bills and Josh Allen and Doug McDermott is like, you have to get to the Super Bowl. There's no question.
Yeah. It's just there's so much. These are gonna be great playoffs, I think. I mean even like the Rams Panthers game where it's kind of easy to overlook the Panthers. I mean, this is a team that won their. I mean, they also won their division by losing their last game, but this is a team that was tough this year. They played some really good teams and it went their way. I mean, as an Eagles fan and as a Bears fan, I know we sat here and we're like, man, the NFC is tough, but the AFC is also pretty tough, I would say. Like the Texans, that Texans defense, dude.
No, they're good.
And
They're good.
and just like the Bills, obviously with Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence is on fire, Justin Herbert's on fire, Drake May's on fire. And then you have like this typical Steelers team where they just hang around. They have Aaron Rodgers now. So this I'm excited. These are gonna be great playoffs. We've been spoiled. I know like earlier in the season for both college and NFL, it was kind of like who is good and who sucks. Like no one knows. I
Yeah.
would say by the end of the season, definitely we have been shown that there are several very good teams, and like I was saying, any of these teams could win the Super Bowl. I really do think that maybe outside of like the Panthers and maybe in the Steelers too, I would say those are two teams where I'm like, I don't really know. But that Texans defense, dude, is unbelievable, and I think all of the other teams are skilled enough. everywhere to win a Super Bowl. So I'm excited. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, the Texans are one of those teams. This was 25 years ago. You pencil them into the Super Bowl just
Yeah,
based off the defense.
yeah.
So that'd be very interesting. Yeah, I mean, some interesting games, some fun games. So yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. They kick off Saturday. So we'll have more on that Sunday as when we come back and we talk about it. All right. Now we move on to what the title of this video is all about. Transfer portal in college football. There's a lot of guys in it. This has been, running around town, who loves you more, who wants you more, that type of thing. Supposedly the top number for quarterbacks is 5 million right now. And that first guy right there, Brendan Sorsby, looks like he got 5 million to go to Texas Tech.
Yeah. Oh
Reportedly,
man.
allegedly. He goes from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. He's the number 2 overall ranked prospect in the transfer portal per 24/7 Sports. All the rankings I have are based off of 24/7 Sports.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of people that thought LSU was involved here. LSU was very much involved in Brandon Sorsby. He had a visit with Lane Kiffin or had a dinner of some sort. Clearly didn't go really well because he ended up going to Texas Tech. Supposedly, LSU offered him $3.5 million in NIL.
That's why. As soon as I heard he was going to Texas Tech, I was thinking, man, that money.
And so there is a cap that you can spend on NIL, but schools are using corporate sponsors to exceed the cap and add more money value into it. So that's just kind of what was Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports kind of found that. And so that was the offer to Brandon Sorsby to LSU. It is alleged that he got $5 million to go to Texas Tech. So that oil money is very, very real.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
That's crazy.
For a guy that played at Cincinnati. Now moving on to the next guy. This guy, I thought Luke was trying to bamboozle us months ago when he brought this guy's name up. Drew Metzamaker, if I'm saying that right. I think I am. North Texas quarterback. He's going to Oklahoma State. He's following his coach, of course, was at North Texas, now at Oklahoma State.
Okay, I was wondering. That makes more sense. I was like, dude, why Oklahoma State? I forgot about that their North Texas coach went to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, so that's basically why he's going there. He's following his coach. He's a number 3 overall quarterback, 24/7, and I think number 3 overall player too. So he's very highly on there. You see Rocco Beck there. He's following his coach as well, Matt Campbell. It seems like all of Iowa State is going to Penn State. He's coming from Iowa State to Penn State. He's a number 9 quarterback. Byron Brown, the South Florida quarterback, is following his coach to Auburn. He's the number 8 overall quarterback. Josh Hoover, that's a guy we kind of like.
Yeah, that is a guy we like.
He is going to Indiana from TCU. He's a number 10 overall quarterback. This all but proves that Mendoza is going to the draft.
Yeah.
Indiana's done very, very well so far in the portal, getting guys. Mark Cuban is supposedly their big NIL backer.
Wow, that's cool.
He's the richest alumnus of Indiana, and he's a very rich man. And
he could probably be a lot of people's richest alumnus.
Yeah, it's not like he is putting all his money into the Mavericks nowadays.
Right.
So, he's got money to spend, and he must really like Indiana being number 1 in the country. And then the last guy so far in committed quarterbacks I thought was interesting, Kenny Minchey, Notre Dame quarterback. He was committed to Nebraska. So it's like, he's going to go to Nebraska. And now you look at it and you see a Kentucky logo next to his picture. He's officially signed with Kentucky to go play quarterback there for their new coach, Will Stein. So it was very funny because Nebraska people were like, oh, my God, why would we want Notre Dame's backup, blah, 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 blah. I don't think they understood how close he really was to starting.
Yeah.
If he would have been probably around the same year as CJ Carr, he may have been the starter. They just went with Carr based off of potential. So I think Kenny Minchey is going to do very, very well at Kentucky. But as of right now, those are the 6 go-to guys when you look at quarterbacks so far that have committed, what did Nolan say? Would like to think if Marcus would have come seen me in TR, would have got 5K sign on bonus, no question. He's talking about Marcus Freeman and his career at Three Rivers there.
Great career.
Great career. He played safety and I think came in and played defensive line.
Oh, that a boy. Get in there.
Him and Luke Cox used to go at it at practice. I've heard stories.
Oh, man.
So now we have other quarterbacks on the market here. Before we get to other notable transfers, we'll stay with the quarterbacks here. So yeah, Sam Levitt is the number 1 overall player per 24/7 in the portal. Arizona State quarterback. He was at LSU last night. Looks like he's going to be at Tennessee. I think Sam Levitt's basically waiting to see what Dante Moore does at Oregon before he fully makes his decision. But look, he's getting a lot of money. He's kind of courting people around. He's doing his thing. I mean, he's the prettiest girl in the room as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Lagway, Florida's ex-quarterback, number 5 overall quarterback, number 15th overall. He visited Florida State not too long ago.
Oh, what a son of a biscuit, dude.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee may be on there. Some other schools.
Yeah.
Baylor supposedly has been talked about for him. I'm going to skip over the guy in the middle. We'll come back to him. Dylan Raiola, Nebraska's quarterback, number 6 overall quarterback, number 16 overall talent, highly number 1 recruit coming out of high school, broke his leg. There's been Louisville. I think he's potentially waiting to see what Dante Moore does at Oregon as well before we fully figure out what happens with him. And then the youngest guy on this list out of these guys still available is Deuce Knight, Auburn's quarterback. He's a number 7th overall quarterback. Number 17th overall player. He's a highly touted freshman coming out last year. He was a once Notre Dame commit and then ended up decommitting and then signing with Auburn. Played in the game against Mercer. Did very well. I think they scored like 60-some points. And then he didn't play the next week at Auburn. So very interesting. So now you ask about the guy in the middle, the Washington quarterback. This is an interesting story. So DeMond Williams Jr., Washington's quarterback. He is now putting his name in the transfer portal. He's viewed as a number 4 overall quarterback, number 6 overall player. I think he's a sophomore. Had a very good season at Washington. He just recently signed with Washington to re-sign to play there, and now yesterday he wanted to go into the portal. It's been discussed reportedly that maybe LSU lured him into the portal, and I'm sure probably some other schools did as well. So this is kind of the situation that he's now in. It's now him versus the University of Washington, and maybe now even the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Ross Dellinger has that Williams signed a 1-year rev share agreement with the University of Washington worth about $4 million recently. And now he kind of wants out of that deal, and now they're trying to figure out how it all works. Supposedly the agreement prohibits a player from entering the transfer portal once signed. So Washington's now refusing to put his name into the transfer portal. So this is what basically is the bad side of transfer portal, NIL, all of that. I don't know. To me, if he got $4 million, someone's willing to pay him a lot more money.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is tough, dude, because it's like, obviously, you want to be responsible, and if you sign a contract, you need to agree with it. But, dude, how many universities have screwed these dudes over for decades? Yeah. I will never, ever, ever side with a university over an athlete.
Well, it's not the university as much as it is the coaches.
Right.
Because the coaches have been able to do this. The coaches resign and then leave.
Yep.
So, there's 2 sides to this. I think when you look at it, I think the biggest problem with this one is he just recently signed this contract like a week ago, and now maybe illegally was tampered with to then go in the portal. I think basically Washington's mad of like, hey, we had this agreement. But I think the other problem is Washington looks at it. It's like, I don't know if money was already exchanged or how much money was already exchanged or that type of thing. But for me, $4 million for Washington's quarterback is a lot of money. What they went like 8-4 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just wild to me. So yeah, so that's the continued argument is Washington don't going to release him of his in his name in the portal, or what's kind of going to happen there. But that is the guy right now that everybody's kind of got their eyes on, of like kind of what happens when you look at it um, moving forward. I also have a thing here, as now we can move on to other notable players. Uh, this is kind of what they think value for NIL rev share is kind of looking like this year. Quarterbacks are anywhere from 1 million to 4 million. Offensive tackles are anywhere from 600,000 to 1.3 million. Uh, Edge rushers are 500 to 2 million. Interior defense tackles are 500 to 1.5. Running backs are in the range of 400 to 900,000. Wide receivers are 500,000 to a million. Tight ends are 300 to 900,000. Corners are anywhere from 250 to a million. Safeties are 250 to 900,000. Linebackers are 200,000 to 750,000, and interior linemen are looked at to be valued at 200,000 to 700,000.
That is so interesting, dude. It's kind of I'm surprised that like receivers aren't more. I guess there's just so many of them that you
There
can,
could be. That's just kind of
yeah.
what that's kind of what they think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean court that's fascinating, dude. That is just fascinating to hear those numbers.
No, I mean the numbers are crazy. All right, so looking at other notable guys that have already transferred and committed to different schools, you have Caleb Hawkins, North Texas's running back, is going to Oklahoma State following his coach as well. He's viewed as the number one running back and number 20 overall player.
Mm,
You have Nick Marsh going from Michigan State to Indiana. He's
mm,
looked at as a number 7 wide receiver, number 28 overall. Hollywood Smothers is running back from NC State. He's going to Alabama. Number 2 running back, number 33 overall player. Omarion Miller, Colorado to Arizona State, continues. Jordan Tyson did that.
mm.
The wide receiver from Arizona State going to the draft this year. He's a number 2 overall wide receiver, number 13 overall player.
Wow.
And then the highest corner on the list, Dontez Williams, is going from Iowa State to USC, number 1 overall corner, number 42 overall player. Then you have Toby Osun Sami.
Mm-hmm. Nailed
Yep,
it.
he's going from Kansas State to Indiana. He's a number 7 edge, number 32 overall player. Carius Kern is going from LSU to Ole Miss.
I like that.
Interest. Number 1 overall tackle, number 22 overall player. And then Mateen.
Oh yeah, I've seen this dude's name. Hold on,
Ibirogba.
I'll take a shot. Mateen Ibarogba.
I think he was at Georgetown, then went to Wake Forest, and now is
Mhm.
getting a bag to go to Texas Tech. He's a number 2 overall defense tackle, number 9 overall player. So those are just some of the names out there.
Yeah, I didn't hear a whole lot of Notre Dame in there. Did you?
Notre Dame has not done a whole lot. They have not.
Man.
They've. I don't know quite what's going on. I'm trusting the process there, as some would say.
I heard Mateen Ibarogba. He was being thrown around a little bit for the Fighting Irish.
He was. So there's been some names thrown out there. Nick Marsh's name was thrown out there. A lot of these guys committed before they were supposed to even visit Notre Dame. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Notre Dame has had some guys on campus the last couple days. Look, my biggest thing with Notre Dame is defensive linemen. As long as we get that, I'll be happy. We're pretty good, and our recruiting class is pretty good. Where look, you're gonna. It's one of those. This is the interesting thing is you have some schools that go all in on the transfer portal.
Yeah.
You have some schools that go all in on recruiting, and you have some schools that like to meld it together.
Mm.
Indiana's one of those schools where their recruiting isn't as well, so they go all in transfer portal. Texas Tech's kind of the same way. So it's kind of interesting to see. I know, Marcus Freeman's already said, look, we're not going to major in transfer. We're going to minor in it. So, look, they're going to pick and choose the guys they want, the guys that fit. Notre Dame is different, too, because of academic stuff. It's easier for them to get a freshman or a graduate transfer. So, I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. I still think they're going to get some guys that fit and do well. It's just a lot of money's been thrown around. I think that's kind of what think you have these visits scheduled. You go on one visit, they throw out a number. You're like, yep, that sounds good. I'm going to stay there.
$1 million?
Um,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
I'm 18 years
So,
old.
it's one of those things. Nolan says Root Hog and Trev in the depths. Talk about his defensive line days.
Root Hagen?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I've never
dude.
heard. I've only heard him ever say that. I will say.
Is that like
Must be
a
a Three Rivers
slur or
thing.
something?
I don't know. Must be a Three Rivers thing. God, am I glad CJ Carr is a Notre Dame man? Yeah, it is great. And don't get me dealing with some of he's talking about the Notre Dame stuff. So look, I trust the process. That's all you can do. Trust the process. Figure things out from there. But it's been very interesting, and there's still a lot of big names out there. There's a lot of big names that have not hit the portal. It doesn't look like they're going to hit the portal. If Trinidad Chambliss gets a 6th year, he's going back to Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Kwan Lacey, same way. Running back from Ole Miss is going to stay at Ole Miss. So you have some guys saying, but if you look at some of the numbers, why not go to the transfer portal?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Washington quarterback, you just signed a $4 million deal. I'm sure you probably got offered a little bit more to go out.
Yeah. That's why he's like, oh, I want to leave.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I mean, dude, $4 million. That's
a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, based off 24/7, Sam Levitt, number 1 overall player, still out there. Number 4, number 5 overall player. Cam Coleman is number 4, wide receiver from Auburn. He's still out there. Chaz Coleman, no relation. He's an edge rusher from Penn State. So yeah, there's a lot of good players still out there. A lot of big names. So this is a continuing to progress and move forward here. I think the transfer portal closes officially January 16th for teams not in the playoff or in the national championship game. So look, a lot's going to happen. A lot's going on. It's a long process. You kind of have to trust it for teams. That's what I'm doing with Notre Dame. And so we will see. No one says you were killing me. Yeah, I think we said something we weren't supposed to. All right, now moving on to the college football playoff. Of course, we're down to our final 4 teams. Are we calling it the Final Four? Or do we need a new name for college football?
Yeah, let's think.
Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic.
Last Four.
What is it when you hit? I'm trying to do like a bowl thing, or like a bowling thing.
I
don't think there's a. I don't think there's a name for when you hit 4 pins. I think they just say you hit 4 pins.
Well, I know turkey's 3.
Oh, so that's 3 straight. What is it? Oh my god!
I'm chat GBTing other ways to say Final Four: Elite Final Four, Fearsome 4.
Oh,
the Power 4, the Championship 4, Last 4 Standing.
I was thinking like the last 4 dancing.
Semi-final round.
Ooh, in bowling, getting 4 strikes in a row is commonly called a 4-bagger. 4-bagger.
We're down to the 4-bagger.
We're down to root hogging.
We're down to the trenches, the depths. Yeah. He didn't call it the trenches; he called it the depths.
The 4 fathoms.
The big 4 left, 1 crown. That sounds like what ESPN's going to open with. We're down to 4 left, and
you're welcome, ESPN. We want our money.
The end game 4, top 4 finalists, last 4.
I don't think there's a good name.
I like the Fearsome 4.
Fearsome 4. We'll refer to it.
We're down to the Fearsome 4 in college football.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just where we're at. I mean, this is we have some improbable runs. This right here being the most improbable run game probably of all time. Miami's the first double-digit seed to make it this far. They're the first double-digit seed to win a game when they beat Texas Tech or Texas A&M, and then they beat Ohio State. So they're cooking on all cylinders right now. And they're playing with a team with a quarterback that's pretty hot right now. Trinidad Chambliss. That would be Miami versus Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl out in Phoenix, Arizona. It is tomorrow night at 7:30 on ESPN. Miami's a 3.5-point favorite. Over under set at 52.5. you can get Mississippi, old Mississippi, at plus 150. Jerry went with Miami.
Yeah, so my gut is telling me Miami, dude. They're really physical. They look great against Ohio State. Their ability to establish the run and keep it going, and then Carson Beck can make plays whenever he needs to. Um, that's what my gut's saying, but my heart. What does my heart tell me, Caleb? And my heart tells me I need to look west and probably a little north. Yes, definitely north of old Miami. And I need to look at those guys in Oxford, Mississippi. What they've gone through this season, man, hardship just builds a different type of person, a different
Sure.
type of team. They unite around that trauma that they've faced from their that son of a biscuit Lane Kiffin. Oh, I hate that. How I hate, but I love Pete Golding now. Yes, and I love what's his name, Kwan Lacey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Kwan Lacey. Trinidad Chambliss when he rolled back the other way and then threw that ball to Quan Lacey, and then he got absolutely smoked, but acted like nothing even happened to him. He injured the guy that hit him. That's just a different breed. And that only comes from hardship, Caleb. Give me Ole Miss to win this game.
Wow. I mean, at this point, it's house money. Like
Yeah.
anybody, this game is the house money game.
Yeah,
Where, to be honest with you, I mean, they probably expected to be there, but I mean, it was a tough road, right?
Yeah.
So look, they're in it. They're house money. I'm going to continue to roll with Miami. I have to at this point.
Yeah,
I
you
picked
do.
them last week. I said as long as Carson Beck doesn't screw up, they could win the whole thing. As of right now, he hasn't screwed up. I don't know if Ole Miss's defense is going to make him screw up, I think is the biggest thing. And it's going to be a very interesting line of scrimmage game. Georgia was able to run the ball a little bit on Ole Miss. They were able to wear him down a little bit. So, look, Miami only gets better when the fourth quarter comes around when it comes to the trenches.
Yeah.
I think Trinidad's maybe going to have to run around and maneuver a little bit more against that front from Miami. So I'm going to go and say that there's going to be a hurricane in Phoenix
Man.
this week.
Oh.
All right, now we move on to the Peach Bowl, of course. This is like the Big Ten all over again. These guys, this is a rematch of October 11th.
Wow.
Rematch of October 11th.
That feels just like yesterday.
Yep. In a game where Indiana went into Oregon and won 30-20. Went in there and beat them up. We have Oregon versus Indiana. This is Friday at 7:30 on old ESPN. Indiana's also a 3.5-point favorite. Over-under is 46.5, and you can get the Oregon Ducks at plus 154. I mean, this game is going to be very, very interesting. Jerry went with the Hoosiers.
Yeah. Walking in to this game in October 11th, a day before your birthday.
That's right.
I was expecting Oregon to kind of fraud check Indiana, but Indiana weathered the storm, and then that's when the tides turned, dude. That Indiana beat Illinois by like 80 points, and then we were like, oh wow, this Indiana team looks similar to last year's team, but then they showed no, actually, we might be the real deal, and they've continued to show that the real deal. The problem is that they've played these Oregon Ducks. This will be the second time.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's hard to beat a team two times. And especially when they have a great coach like Dan Lanning, dude. That guy, look at him run out into that field. He looks beautiful. Dante Moore is a great quarterback. I really enjoy him. But I think Indiana has just gotten better as the season's gone on. I think Fernando Mendoza is playing his best football. I think that Indiana defense is playing its best football. Give me the Hoosiers to win the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, so this game is my gut's telling me one thing, my head's telling me another.
Your heart.
Maybe my heart, but my gut is telling me what my gut is saying is that, like, is Indiana really going to beat Oregon twice in the same season? I guess Gary Danielson talked about it on Dan Patrick this week that when they met with Oregon before the Indiana game, that was right after the Penn State game. And all Oregon could talk about was how excited they were after beating Penn State and how big of a milestone that was. So they were coming off a high from that game.
Yeah.
And they were kind of satisfied with that. And then they got Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this time there's only one game they care about.
Yeah.
And that's Indiana.
Yeah.
Dante Moore's a very capable quarterback. I think if you look at it, you go, wow. Out of the quarterbacks left, he's pretty good. But is he to the level of Fernando Mendoza? I think is the other question. He's got a chance to show that this Friday. I think the biggest thing is going to be the line play. Oregon was not able to do much offensively against Texas Tech's defensive line. So that's going to be interesting. But their defensive line for Oregon is very good.
Yeah.
They were able to cause a couple strip sacks, do that type of thing, get after the quarterback. I expect this game to be kind of low scoring and kind of gross. Not as maybe low scoring as Ohio State, Indiana was, but very similar. I think it's going to be one of those chess matchy games. I don't know how many times they're going to take shots, that type of thing. So my gut tells me Oregon, but I'm going to ride with Indiana. I'm going to pick them because they did. I mean, when they beat Alabama the way they did, I was just like, the sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah.
They're a very good team. And I thought they were a good team, but it's like you get to the step of like how good they become in your mind every time you watch them and they do something. And that was one where it's like, whoa. And I think if you put Texas Tech and Alabama on the same field, Alabama might win that game.
Yeah.
So, I look at that. And I think the travel for Oregon, back-to-back weeks, going from Miami back to Oregon, now back down to Georgia and Atlanta. Indiana's trip is just look, I just made that trip.
Yeah.
Okay? It's about a 2-hour plane ride, not even.
Yeah.
From Bloomington to Georgia. So, I'm going to ride with the Hoosiers. I think that it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be low scoring. Like I said, guts tell me Oregon, but I'm going to ride with Indiana. I would not be shocked if Oregon won.
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
I have our picks from last week.
I think I went 0-4.
You did not.
What?
Nope. Jerry went 2-2.
Yes.
You went 1-3.
Oh, thank God.
And I went 3-1.
Which one did I get right?
Indiana.
I thought I went with Alabama. Okay.
No, you went with Indiana.
Okay.
We all went Indiana.
Okay. That makes you feel bad.
You got every other game wrong.
Yeah.
So Jerry on the season's 56-50.
Yep.
I'm 69-49.
Mm-hmm.
69. And you are 58-60.
Yeah, that one set me back a little bit.
You need to go undefeated these last 3 games to get above 500. You could.
I can do it.
You can do it. But you picked Ole Miss.
I did.
You like to fly.
I do like to fly with my boy Trinidadian. What's terrible?
Terrible. Your picks are terrible, they're saying.
Oh my God. Jonathan, you couldn't do half as good as me.
He's gonna tell you he's been on Miami since week 0.
Oh my God. Just like he was giving John Mateer the freaking Heisman in September.
That is very true. He did. He was like, this guy won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I mean, give me a break, Jonathan.
He also claims to be a Lions fan after being a Raiders fan.
And neither of those teams made the playoffs. So,
do you want to talk football?
Do we want to talk football? We can talk football, pal. What am I supposed to be afraid of? Jeez Louise.
I think Jonathan's saying he would have won 118-0. That's how many games.
I guarantee he thinks that. I guarantee
15-1. What's your record? That's coaching record right there, Trev.
15-1.
That's his coaching record.
Well, let's see. There's a lot of math to do. Not as good as his.
Yeah.
But I did finish my last season. Was a 5-0 season.
There you go.
Foster.
There you go.
So listen, he did coach me though. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
We were just dog walking everyone. You're welcome.
Is this like a Brady Belichick thing where you guys are both trying to prove who was better?
You're welcome, dude. You're welcome.
I will say, I think I only had one losing season in my football career. I don't bring up the past. That's not what I do. I'm far from it. I'm not uptown talking about the glory days. I don't do that. I move on to what's next.
Yes.
But I only had one losing season in my entire football career. So
Was it our no, actually I don't think we had a losing season our freshman
that was our,
year.
I think it was
Was it?
freshman year.
Is that when we went like 4-5 or something like
I think
that?
so, yeah.
Dude, we had some tough teams. We had to play Nolan.
That was the first time we played Mendon. We're like, oh, we've beat everybody. See, that's the problem. Is we grew up, we destroyed everybody. We played Edwardsburg, destroyed them. It wasn't even a question. Manchild was created during Edwardsburg. We used to destroy everybody. There wasn't. I don't ever remember losing growing up. No. Right, 7th, 8th grade, we were good. We won. We get to freshman year, and they're like, "Oh, this team Mendon," and we're like, "We beat everybody." We're like, we're good," and they're like, "Oh, you haven't played Mendon yet." And we're like, "Dude, don't even get us started." Like, dude, come on, we don't lose games. We played Mendon. They whooped us up and down the field.
Yeah, they did. And Three Rivers also whooped us up and down the field. They had the kicker who was like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
He was like there. I'm sure Nolan knows what we're talking about. And then Dwajek beat the crap out of us. And several other teams did. But then our sophomore year, we played Mendon again. We went undefeated. Yeah. Then we played Mendon again. And I remember being terrified. And we beat the crap out of them.
Beat the crap out of them. Yeah, that that would have been the JV state champs.
Yeah, I think we could have won the state champs for JV. I mean, we were unbelievable.
You know, the Bulldogs won the Bourbon Bowl.
The Bulldogs won the Bourbon Bowl.
I mean, it was just the good old glory days.
It was. Yeah, but we look ahead.
Yeah, I do. I don't talk about the past very often. That's not what I do. I decide not to do that. I don't talk about, everything I've done in my life. I don't. I don't talk about I've won 2 Emmys and I just do all this. I don't talk about that. I just don't.
I think I see him back there.
Yeah. I don't talk about that very often. I don't display it. I don't talk. That's not what I do. Yeah. How many ever district titles I won, regionals, I don't talk about it.
I started to lose count with all the district titles I've won,
Yeah, so I don't even think about it, decorated.
My favorite district title that we've ever won though, baseball by far.
Baseball. That was
our freshman. Was it our freshman year? Baseball.
Our freshman year. That was the best. Dude.
That was the best district. That was amazing.
That was the funnest.
Yeah.
That was a fun collection of guys.
Yeah. Just a bunch of weirdos.
Well, we weren't weirdos, but we could get weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We could get weird.
Dude, you remember when I would be a sniper?
Yeah.
And I would have everyone's baseball bag covering me.
Yeah.
With the fungo sticking out.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
No, it was not the one in Richmond. No, that was
that was when we went to Kalamazoo.
Getting weird
or something.
Yeah, we went to Kalamazoo Hackett.
Yes, Hackett Catholic. And then the regionals was in New Buffalo.
New Buffalo, yes.
And we were
lost in extras. Yeah, but I mean that was a fun. I remember we had the rain delay.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And we were on the bus, and then it got super hot.
Yeah.
But we weren't supposed to win the first game either, though.
No.
We played Kalamazoo Hackett, and they were supposed to kill us. They were like number 10 in the state. Like they were supposed to go far.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning that game, and then it was house money from there.
It was, and then. And then so once we beat them, we were like, oh wait, we can win this whole thing. And then, oh man, that regional championship, dude. We were one play away. And then the team we lost to ended up going to state, right? Centerville?
Yep. Centerville, yeah. That was our biggest rival back in the day. Centerville's really good at baseball back in the day.
They are really good at baseball. They're currently good at baseball.
Yeah, they've had one kid went to Texas.
Oh man. Yeah, that was he was like a twin or something, wasn't he?
Yep. So yeah. No, but the good old days. The good old days.
Good old days.
I have a funny story about Nolan. He's saying getting weird here. So I want to say maybe it was his senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Edwardsburg in the regular season for the first time in a long time. Three Rivers did. So they make the playoffs. This is still the funniest thing to me. They're probably going to hate me for it. They all went and got their hair dyed blonde for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they were going to go on this magical run.
Yeah.
They had to play Edwardsburg again.
Yeah.
They lost. With all blonde hair.
I can just imagine them all crying and then it was bleach blonde hair.
Did not do the job. I remember them being so proud and their moms being so proud, being like, "Oh, the boys." Oh. Oh, they lost before even the Eddies. Oh, that's right.
Okay.
They lost to
All
Bump. They
Paul.
didn't even get there.
Okay.
But dude, I give them credit. They did beat Eversberg at that time to beat Eversberg in the regular season.
Yeah, well, then Edwardsburg, that
But
was the year they went on to go to the state championship. I don't think they won it, but they went there.
yes, and basketball picks were terrible. They all had fun.
That is rough, dude. That
But
is rough.
no, dude, they were on this magical run. They all dyed their hair blonde. I remember just seeing the posts, seeing the videos, their moms being like, "Oh, this is so cool! Like, look at these
Yeah.
guys! Like,
They're gonna
so
win the
awesome!"
state championship.
And they didn't even make it past the first round of the playoffs. That's like the what was the yacht for the Giants that playoff?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The boat
yeah,
picks.
Yeah.
John says, "I once diagnosed Caleb with being dehydrated, and it was a concussion.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason, yeah, it's
I
very
remember
cool.
that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, yeah.
That was terrible. That's one of the reasons why I go to different realms sometimes, is because I had a whole season where I stood next to Jonathan in football. It's probably one of the worst things for me in life. Worst and best, but it's just one of those things. Just
Dude,
me
no,
and him.
It was great coaching with him. That's where the prime.
Oh yeah, I learned so much. It was so fun.
Coaching with Jonathan is where it's at, dude.
Yeah, no, I basically did. I was basically like the super senior.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But made you a man. Yeah, he made a lot of people a man. He loves icy hot. Ask him about that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, that's just what he did, man. You know, he was
a great leader for young men.
He's a great leader of young men. Yeah. No, he is. I mean, he really is. He's actually a very good coach.
Yeah, he was great.
He gets into that, that craziness, and he enhances.
Oh, do you remember when his dad almost ejected him from a football game?
Yeah, they almost got in a fight in his 7th and 8th grade football game. They almost got in a fight. They almost got in a fight. It was the funniest thing ever. It was like I think we didn't get a pass interference call or something. Mind you,
it was like 4th down, and they said that we didn't get it, I believe.
Oh.
And he was begging his dad to measure it. and Jim, this isn't all on Jonathan. Jimmy was refusing to measure it.
I remember them like getting in the face of each other.
Yeah. I feel like if he wasn't the son of the referee, he would have been thrown out of the game.
He probably should have been kicked out.
He was
They're just arguing with each other, like screaming.
Stopped the game.
Yeah, no, he was like, stop. Like he's like, stop the game. He like turned to him. They got in each other's face. It was the worst and the funniest thing ever. Oklahoma.
Yeah, Coloma. It was Coloma.
Yeah, it was one of the funniest things I'll ever see. And finally, he just got to a point where he was just like, Johnson's dad looked up, just like, stop.
Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah.
And he stopped.
Then I believe this is a true story, but I think Jimmy also ejected Jonathan from a basketball game.
He probably did that. Yeah,
I think
when he was a player.
Yes, when Jonathan was playing
in high
basketball.
School?
Yes, I believe that is true. I'm not positive. I think he told me that though, because we talked about this before.
Giving me 2 texts and 2%. 2 texts would be an ejection.
Maybe if it was in one game, he's gone. If it was 2 separate games, though.
I'll tell you what. Jonathan's back in the day in sports was a different breed. Okay, they had hammers being thrown at coaches, and dads giving sons technical fouls.
Dude, those are great times, man.
What a time. What a time. But yeah, with that being said, a lot's going on in NFL, college. It's a continuation here. We always talk about, we're going to have nothing to talk about. We're in the mean days of summer. Mm-hmm. There's always something to talk about. Always going on. We have playoffs in the NFL, first round wild card. What are we calling it? The final Fantastic
Four.
The Fantastic Four. are left in college football. And was it? He tried in junior high, but
That's awesome.
jeez, these guys, the relationship that they have.
It's a phenomenal. It's great.
It's a great relationship. My
Yeah.
favorite story, and I always say this, and I'll continue to say this to the dad. My favorite story of Jonathan is when we went to the Michigan Ohio State game.
Yeah.
They finally beat Ohio State for the first time in a long time. And he's on the phone with his dad, and he's like, they're crying with each other on the phone. He goes, "Did you call Grandpa yet? Did you call Grandpa yet?" All-time classic.
They're Michigan men, bro.
All-time classic. It's one of my favorite
There's
stories.
nothing that can bring a tear to a Michigan man's eye than beating Ohio.
It was. Look, that scene was amazing. It was snowing. Like, it was an awesome scene.
That was
an
a great
awesome
game.
Great game. Like, storm the field. I don't like Michigan, but storm the field.
Yeah, had to.
I will always say that story because he always makes those funny T-shirts of me and wears them around town.
Yeah.
I will always bring up that story of him crying on the phone with his dad, being like, "Have you called Grandpa yet? Oh my god!" Funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. One of the funniest things. It's so funny for a guy that prides himself on being the manliest of man.
Macho, yeah.
Yeah, he spits on people that cry.
Yeah.
For him to sit there and cry on the phone with his father while also thinking of his grandfather after Michigan just beat Ohio State. It's the love of the game. And they say it just means more in the SEC.
No, it means more.
I don't see an SEC man doing that.
No.
I mean, that was also the same day I learned what the military does in porta potties over the country. So, with that being said, we'll be back Sunday with Jerry.
Yes.
Be much more buttoned
up.
All
right, so I have a question. Are we going to continue doing Wednesday shows?
It's a great question, actually.
Because, Monday, the college football is done.
Well, the next Monday.
Yes, next Monday.
We'll probably do it through the Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah. I was just wondering. I didn't
know.
Yeah,
we'll probably do transfer portal through the playoffs of the NFL, and then we'll probably cut back on the Wacky Wednesdays.
Okay, yeah. Man, I'm going to miss them.
I'm
going to miss these Wacky Wednesdays.
So we'll be back Sunday with Jerry. We'll discuss college football playoffs, NFL playoffs, and figure out what's going on in the transfer portal. So, and all of that. So with that being said, we'll be back Sunday. And as always, thanks for watching.
Peace.